Oh, yeah, and Russell Wilson also come out and saying that he wants to win 2 more Super Bowls and he would like to finish it in Denver. But
yeah, I started listening through that whole interview. And God, Russell Wilson is so boring.
I didn't know where that was going.
So boring.
And I was just like, man, I really want him to stay. Or it's like, nope, he is just boring.
He is so good at not saying the wrong thing, right? That it's annoying. He's very careful with his words. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And also,
how annoying it was.
It is annoying. Like, I think he's too calculated. And that's like,
okay,
the kissing babies thing. Like, that's what Sean Payton means. When Kyle Brandt called him a poser, I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
It's like Brandon Marshall gave him an opportunity early in that interview to show that he's human, show that he's just a dude. Because Russ was talking about never wanting to take the low road, to say bad things about other people. He believes about, he's like, I'm about love. I'm about uplifting. Like, we worked so hard to get here. I agree with all that shit. And Brandon's like, well, tell me one story where you didn't do that. Give me one example where you didn't take the high road.
Yeah.
And we have all done that. We've all said something stupid. We've all treated somebody else the way we wish we didn't. And like Russ, to get where he has gotten, has definitely done that.
Sure.
Right? And he was just like, he refused. He just gave more quarterback. He's like, no, I'm about love, man. That's what I like. I'm about love. It's like, dude, you had an opportunity to show like, yeah, you know what? When I was, it doesn't even have to be recent. You know what I mean? Like you're
one day I was in the
players.
supermarket and it was 5 items or less and I had 6.
Yeah. And I didn't pay. I forgot to pay for it. Like, just like, yeah, when I was in this situation in college or in high school, I said something like nothing.
I learned from that experience.
Exactly. And it's like, man, that's why people get so fucking annoyed with him, because we've all fucked up. Like,
yeah.
And when you talk about it and you talk about how you've embraced your mistakes and learned from them, and there was just like, there's so much there of what he wasn't saying. I'm like, he's missing out on those opportunities because he wants to be so polished and so much like, I am the leader, I'm the quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
but like, that's where you said, like, that's where the poser comments come from.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. So it's just like, he's still good enough to play, but, and like the conversation about the Broncos and that situation, I don't think he was 100% honest. Like, just, I think he's right about some stuff. He talked about not wanting to get rid of the injury guarantee because he doesn't want to set that precedent for other players. I agree with that. I respect that.
Sure.
But he could have been like, I'm not going to remove that. But if this contract's an issue for how we build moving forward, then I am 100% open to talking about that once we get through the season.
Do you think it's just because Sean Payton hates him and everybody knows that Sean Payton hates him and he's kind of just like, dude, like, I'm also not going to do that guy any favors because he hates me?
I don't think it's a hate thing. I think
he's obviously not the preferred choice.
Yes. But this is a history thing with Russ too.
Yeah.
He's like, I never had a problem with Pete Carroll. Like, our relationship's always been great. The last 4 or 5 years in Seattle, that was not the story. And maybe that's unfair to Russ. They went through a couple coordinators too.
Mm-hmm.
Russ wanted to go to a place where he could have control. He got that. It was a disaster. I think it's, there's truth to both sides. I'm not saying Russ is at fault, but like listening to it, I was hoping to get something from Russ. I was like, no, it's the same stuff. Well, and I haven't gotten all the way through it yet, but
I think it's because we live in also a time where more and more athletes are like just like putting themselves out there, especially like online and stuff, and be like, here's my personality. Like here's the Kelseys, right? Here are the St. Browns. Here are like all these player podcasts and player things of like, let me tell you real stories about real life. Yeah. And, that has given people a further appreciation because it like takes them closer to the game and the player. And like, if that doesn't happen and you already have these ideas about Russell Wilson, that interview is not going to help.
No, because he's not going to open up like that, right?
Yeah.
I also don't think Russ understands his limitations. Like, I think that's his flaw. You know what I mean? I think he always believes he can overcome them.
Sure.
And when you're young, you can sometimes as an athlete, right? I don't think he knows what his limitations are.
Yeah.
The other part of that is, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh God. Oh God.
I believe in you.
Oh God. Oh my God, my brain is so stupid.
We made 20
See,
seconds.
like I know my limitations. I'm stupid. I'm dumb.
Hey, you're
oh, it was. He talked about a mentality after his like third or fourth year where he's like, I wasn't gonna let anything get in the way of like my goals and my mentality and my. He's like, I had to shut out a lot of things, and I thought that was gonna be a. I thought he was gonna go into like why he didn't like why Richard Sherman and him maybe didn't get along because they were talking about Richard Sherman and their relationship, and he made like a joke about it. And I thought that was a great opportunity for him to explain his side of like tuning out his availability possibly to his teammates.
Yeah.
And something that would have at least let us understand his perspective. Maybe we don't agree with it, but I thought he's getting like, I had to shut out everything, all distractions. And that for me kind of meant separating myself from even availability to my teammates, where I wanted to be so focused on what I was doing because I knew I had to work so hard, but it never went there. I was like, man, like I thought that's what he was going to say, and he didn't.
I get you.
Those are the little things, and you're just like, he still never addresses it. We only got everybody else's side of the story.
And it's one of those things where you're like looking to give him the benefit of the doubt too.
Yeah.
It makes it more difficult to do so. And you're just like, cool, I just have this to go off of, which is not fair, but like, that's just the way the world works.
No.
By the way, would you rather have blown it all up or had the season you had?
Oh, so given the situation the Broncos are in now, do you wish they blew it all up after the Dolphin? Yes.
Blow it up.
It's if the Broncos would have made the playoffs, it would have been worth it. Yeah. Even if they got their ass kicked in the first round, it would have been worth it because the turnaround for the Broncos was fun last year. It made the season worth watching. And Russ was a big part of that. But, you know.
Well, let me tell you about GPS Clips, the hottest, outrageous channel that's been around for a little while now, like a year now, right?
Look it, you can find all of your GPS clips here.